Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. You currently locked in with two of the coldest brothers on the planet right now. This is the Porch Podcast, and I'm your co-host, B. Jones, aka Bolo. And you know when I'm pulling up to the porch, I can't pull up without my dog.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Big Smitty, aka D Nice. And like my boy Bolo just said, man, this is the porch. Welcome.
Started on the porch, that was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we need. Now we under.
My guy, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Man, I am good. I'm great. I'm blessed, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm a little tired, bro, but I love seeing your face, bro. I love getting on the podcast, bro. I love the listeners listening to what we got to say. Football just started. For my people out there who know about football, high school football and stuff like that, we in full gear, man. So obviously, super busy, but man, I love pulling up to the porch, bro.
Yes, sir, man. I can hear it in your voice. I can tell you've been yelling at them players, boy.
Hey, you hear the horse, bro. You hear the hoarseness in my voice, bro. Man.
Hey, that's how it is. First week of the season, you trying to set a precedent, trying to set a culture, and a lot of kids, they're not fully in shape. So you got to make sure you got to really be firm right now. This is the beginning of the season.
You got to push them, bro. It's a standard, right? Everybody got to meet you at that standard because first day you let shit ride, and then obviously
ride all year long.
Ride all year long, right?
Hey, how y'all looking though? But before we go to our first topic, how y'all looking? Be real.
Hey, we looking good, man. I mean, obviously, it's not too much in one week, right? We ain't got no pads on. Pads tell a story. Everybody superstars when you ain't got no pads on, but then you put pads on, people disappear. So I'll holler at you in about 2 or 3 weeks when them pads get to popping and people start to fizzle out. We'll let you know what we got from there. But we shaping up pretty well though so far.
All right. That's what I like to hear, man. Like I said, I often joke about me going to Warren Central High School, and I know you over at Lawrence Central. But at the end of the day, man, it's all the East Side. It's all young kids trying to chase their dreams and grind. And I used to love this time of the season. I remember just being in their shoes, being when I was like a freshman, sophomore, I was more nervous. You know what I mean? Because I'm early, I'm young. Junior, senior year is more so just like I know what to do. I know why I'm here. Just more excited. But so many emotions just mixed in. So shout out to your kids. Shout out to LC, man. I wish I knew the best.
Sir. Yes, sir, man. It's so good to get back to the youth, bro. Mm-hmm. Building connections with those kids, man. Keeping them kids off the streets in the summertime, man. Giving them something to do, making them better, pushing them. Obviously it'll help them as they grow older, man. They'll look back and remember it like we do too, like when we was in high school and college. So that's what it's about.
Hey, it's still Dub C though. Don't get it too twisted. I ain't trying to get too sentimental.
Dub C. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, and we got shout out to Coach Tussey. I heard Coach Tussey is back as a defensive coordinator. All the East Side legends, y'all know Coach Tussey don't mess around on the defensive side. So watch out, Mick. Watch out the whole conference. Y'all don't know this. Coach Tussey, baby. Yes, get it.
That's cool.
Wait. You still haven't tapped in to Bet Online? What you waiting on? Bet Online is our partners, and they're the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports development, including this year's basketball championship finals, the NHL hockey conference finals, the Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. All you got to do, man, is head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV, BELIEVE, to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Now back to the porch. What we got for our first topic, man? We were talking a little bit off air, man, and you bring some heat for the topic of the day, man. What we got?
So topic of the day, sorry fellas, but this one is specifically for the ladies. All right. And fellas, you probably will want to hear this too. So obviously we have been hearing in the media, my dog, Nick Cannon. All right. So it was cool. He shooting up the club here and there and doing his thing. Right. But the question I posed to the women out there today, would you be open to conceiving a child for Nick Cannon?
Now,
what's your thought on that? Like, what you think, bro? Like, you think that is a good thing? Because I can see people saying, like, obviously he'll have the support, you'll have the money and things like that. But like, the more kids you get, it's like is this man is only in one person. Like, is he gonna have time to spend time with his kids? Like, obviously, the financial side of things is one thing, but like, you know, being present and being there at everything, like you rounding up to 10, 11, 12 by the end of 2022, he might have what, 12 kids?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm hearing. Like, it's hard to know like which number is accurate. You know, there's always some rumors here and there, but I know he's somewhere in the range between 8 to 12. Like I think the ninth baby was just born, but I'm hearing that number 10, number 11, number 12 are like in the oven right now baking. So it's like, man, from Nick Cannon's side, and I think he's talked about this before. I don't want to give out the wrong information, but I believe he has some sort of condition to where he's talked about like kind of having a fear that he might die like young or die early. And so because of that, he's trying to really just like spread his seeds and get the biggest family he could have possibly to really leave his legacy. So, you know, I can't really, go ahead.
It's scary because it damn near sound like the way he's having kids at this rate. Yeah. It's almost like he has this underlying ailment that is like terminal. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so quick. It's like back to back. Like, you know what I mean? Right,
exactly. So, like, first of all, I mean, I hope he's okay, and I hope he whatever ailment it is that he's able to get healed and be okay. But to your point, like from the woman's perspective, it's like, I mean, it kind of depends what position you in, because like you said, if you're just like a regular 9 to 5 woman, you're single, you know what I'm saying? You make $56,000 a year, whatever, and you just so happen to be just a beautiful woman who Nick Cannon runs into or connects on social media, and he wants to have a baby by you. It's like, I mean, I don't know. You got to consider it, right? I mean, if you're a single woman, no kids, you make like, because you get with Nick Cannon, he's filthy rich. Your life is good. You're set for life now.
It's automatic bag.
And Nick Cannon's a good dude too. Like everybody who knows him, he's a good dude. So it's not like a bad guy. He just trying to, spread his seeds.
So you think like at the rate he having these kids, and obviously the women know, right? So by the time he got to the 3rd, 4th kid, like women probably got the vibe of what was going on. Right. You think he automatically like just cutting him a check, or he getting put on child support? How you think that's working in their favor?
That's a good question. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's cutting him a check, but again, though, he wouldn't need to, because if they're having this baby, the money gonna come regardless. Like, there's not a world where he's just gonna get shorty pregnant and just not support the kid at all. Like it would defeat the purpose. Like why are you doing this then? Why are you trying to build your family? You're not gonna support them. You know what I'm saying? So like to me, it's like you already know that's gonna come with it. So I don't know if the money would need to come up front. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I don't know. It's interesting, man. It's just a lot. Like when is he gonna stop though? Like that's my thing. Is there a number he's trying to get to? Is it 15? Is it 20? Or he gonna just keep going until he can't no more?
I know he's showing no signs of slowing down.
No signs of slowing down, man. He just keep on rolling.
If I'm a Mariah Carey kids, man, I'm like, damn, another one.
Hey, man, you know what I was thinking of, Bolo? Like, imagine like all these, like they're all siblings, right? They're all half siblings, whatever. But like, if they all want to like link up for like one of the siblings' birthday or whatever, you're gonna have like 13 baby mamas all got to link up, connect, get together. Like, they probably got a group chat called Cannon's Babies. And they all just communicating there about like just events and stuff so everybody can link up.
And I read this article. He was like, man, ain't no beef. You know what I'm saying? I don't put one baby mama before the other or the kids and stuff like that. I feel like it's hard not to, though. I feel like you got a favorite or something. But I think it comes down to that bread, though. Like if you financially, well off and you able to, throw that paper at the women, I think that kills a lot of that drama. Right. Well, and then I think he is seriously just having babies with these women and not having relationships. I think that'll play a big part in like that
feelings and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. The feelings and the jealousy and stuff. But I think he's literally just having a baby and then like moving on.
Yep. Exactly. I was just gonna say that. That's why there's no beef, because like it's nothing serious. We're just having sex. I'm getting you pregnant and I'm on to the next. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy though, man. But I am excited. I want to hear like what our lady listeners got to say about this, because I can see both sides. I can see on one end, like, listen, I'm not about to just let anybody just get me pregnant. If we're not gonna be together, you're not gonna be as present, right? You know what I'm saying? But on the other end, it's like, shoot, like if you want to have kids anyway, and you in a situation where you're not really in love with your current lifestyle and your financial status, that this is gonna be a immediate bag, and again, like I said previously, Nick Cannon is, from everything I've heard, is a good dude. You know what I mean? It's not like he's some bad dude or whatever. So I can see on that end, you might be like, hey, it's like, what's the risk? I'm gonna have a child who I'm gonna love and I'm gonna have a bag. So ladies, let us know what y'all doing.
Man, I'm so interested to hear it because it's like, when you talk to women, they got a different viewpoint on a lot of things, but like this specific situation is very different. And obviously the reward is far greater than kind of just being a baby mama, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, I'm definitely excited to hear the feedback on that.
Nah, for sure, man. A lot of these women end up having a baby from DeMarcus and them down the street, you know what I mean? And he ain't taking care of stuff anyway, so you might as well go ahead and get pregnant by Nick Cannon.
Might as well. So, bro, before we transition, bro, you think these women, like, once they get pregnant, like, they just stop working? You think, like, Nick Cannon putting them into a position where they not working at all, like he bagging them up like that? Are they still like working like they jobs and stuff?
Nah, you know what? So that let's rewind then, because you asked me earlier, do I think Nick Cannon is giving them money up front? At first, I didn't think he was, but now when I think about it, he probably don't want his baby mama's working like while they pregnant and all that stuff. So you know what? I think he is setting them up good. He probably getting them a little, 100,000, boom, you good. Because 100,000 for average Joe, like you might as well be rich. You know what I'm saying? You give them 100,000 back, tell them to chill. They can live off that for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Dang, he out here. Nick can't take care of him like that.
Hey, Nick Cannon letting it ride. Shout out to Nick Cannon, man.
Shout out to Nick Cannon, man. Started off on Nickelodeon, man. And he
started out then with the drumline. Drumline will be out here with 12 plus kids in the making.
Right. And I'm gonna be real. He got some nice ones too. Now he ain't.
He got a lineup. So he definitely is being very selective, I think, with what he wants. I wonder if he'd be like, oh, look, okay, she got nice ankles. All right, I'm gonna have a baby with her, and he or she gonna be athletic. Like, you know what I'm saying? You think he's thinking like that?
You know he is.
She got good hair. Like, her mama got. Okay, my baby gonna have good hair.
She got thick legs. He gonna be a D lineman. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, he definitely on that.
He's gonna be a D lineman.
You think you slick, Nick? I know what you think. You think you slick, Nick?
We set up a whole little dream team of anything, actors. You know what I mean? Singers.
You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to build the new Wayans family. It's gonna be the Cannon zone. The Wayans crazy deep. Every single Wayans is successful. Every nephew, the nieces, all of them.
He's trying to start a whole little dynasty right now.
Damn, we might have to change our last name to Cannon, Bolo, just to get in the mix.
Call me Bolo Cannon.
Bolo Cannon, Smitty Cannon.
That sounds crazy.
Bolo Cannon. That sounded like a song or something.
Crazy.
We got a free. Look. They call me Bolo Cannon. Yeah. They call me Bolo Cannon. Yeah. Going crazy like hey, let me give me time to write something down. He got something right there.
Silly, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. But hey, man, listen. Last episode of the season. Let me say that real quick. Last episode of the season 2. Man, and we got another special guest, man. We end the season off with a crazy bang.
Another banger, man.
This guy, man, he's hilarious. Listen, without further ado, man, I'm about to bring my guy in, man. Let's bring him in right now, man. I ain't playing. Let's bring him in. All right, guys, we have a big time guest on the porch right now. He's one of the biggest sports entertainers in the game. He's been featured on ESPN, Fox, Bleacher Report, and countless other platforms. And to put the icing on the cake, he's from the greatest city known to man. Yes, that's Indianapolis. The one and the only Joey Mulinaro. Welcome to the porch.
Oh, dude, so good to talk to you. What an intro. Yeah, especially the Indianapolis part. I'm here with my fellow Indianapolis guys. I love it. I feel right at home. This is great.
Yes. Like we're literally on the porch right now, just chilling. Like we're at home. We're just drinking one and just having a conversation. So
Dude, yeah, me and my wife just bought a house a few months ago, and we have this awesome big old porch right in the front, and we go out there and have our morning coffee, and it's great. Yeah, so I'm with that. Yeah.
We might have to shoot a live episode at your house, Joey. I don't know.
Welcome, man. Downtown Indy, let's go.
That might be the spot. Literally, welcome to the porch. Literally. We love it, man. Like I said, huge fan of all your work. So excited to just learn more about you and dive into everything that you're doing. First things first, man, we got to start here. I had no idea that you were from Indianapolis. Like I said, I've been a fan of yours for a while. But doing the research, I'm like, what? Joey's from Indianapolis. We went to the same college, Ball State. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure all three of us was there at the same time for 1 year. Like, talk to us about that, man.
Yeah, dude. So Indy, born and raised. It is my home. It still is my home. It will always be my home. I love it just like you guys. But yeah, so we were talking about it a little bit before we got on, and I said, I think you might want to wait for this.
Okay.
Because we were at Ball State at the same time, 2012, 2013, freshman year, me at least. And Darnell, I lived right across the hall from you, bro.
Stop playing, Joey. Hold on.
In LaFollette?
No, so 2012, was it Shively or was it, what hall were we in at the time?
It was Clevenger.
Oh, this is my true freshman. This is freshman year for me.
True freshman year. It was second floor, LaFollette, Clevenger Hall. I was on the inside facing the courtyard. We were at the very end of the hallway.
Yes.
You were on the outside facing, the parking lot and the Letterman building and all that.
Yeah.
Literally, bro, right across the hall.
I'm about to tear. I'm about to cry. Now I'm looking at you this whole time. I'm like, why does Joey, like, listen, I'm literally a fan of Joey, but I'm looking at him like, why does he look familiar? It's been such a long time. Because my roommate was Wes Johnson. Like, we
were passing each other on the way to the shower and shit, or every little stuff, little head nod. And that was, hey, I was a pretty shy kid, and you guys are football players, and I was like, hey, I'm not trying to, I'm just gonna do what I do, and so I wasn't trying to, put myself in anybody. But yeah, bro, literally second floor across the hall. That's so funny.
That is crazy. I'm literally mind blown right now, Bolo.
That's nuts, man.
You still talk to Wes, or what happened to him? What's up with him?
Man, Wes, shout out to Wes, man. So I haven't talked to him in probably a couple years now, but after freshman year, he transferred, got into a little trouble at Ball State, transferred to another school back, I think back in Michigan, finished his football career off. Okay. And yes, so I think last time I seen him and I talked to him, I think he was doing pretty well. We haven't talked to him. It's hard to keep up with everybody, after you leave and stuff like that. So, but shout out to Wes.
Yeah, that's the same way me and my freshman roommate, that the kid I lived with. Yeah, we're the same way. That's how it goes. It's all good. Yeah. But yeah, Wes, I remember actually we grabbed lunch together a couple times because I think we had some classes together or something. But yeah, dude, that's hilarious. We were neighbors.
Man, that's crazy, man. Shout out to Ball State, man. Chirp, bringing us all together.
I don't even think the LaFollette still up. I don't even think the LaFollette is still up anymore.
They tore it down. Legendary. One of the best dorm halls in the history of dorm halls. Like a lot of craziness went down. That's all I'm gonna say on the porch. I don't want to put too many specifics, but a lot of craziness went down the LaFollette. So
just to let y'all know, all right, look, we used to grind in there because it used to be no air conditioner in there in the summertime.
None at all. Burning up, 110 degrees, dehydrated. Got to get up in the morning and practice. It was pretty tough, but man,
definitely
we persevered. So. But let's talk about you, Joey, man. Obviously, like you said, huge, sports entertainer right now. I want to go back to the beginning, to the earlier years of, you growing up. What's your first memory of sports? Kind of explain to the porch, like, how did you fall in love with sports?
Man, some of my first memories, and I'm sure you guys will relate to this, is my parents going wild and watching the Pacers go up against the big bad Knicks back in the 90s. And falling in love with Reggie Miller and Mark Jackson and the Davis brothers and all those guys.
Yeah.
My mom still has a photo around somewhere of me, and I'm in a little Reggie Miller jersey. And at one point he had a Band-Aid he had a cut or injury to his eye where he had to wear a Band-Aid. And I didn't have an injury or anything, but I wanted to wear the Band-Aid like Reggie did. So my parents just put a Band-Aid under my eye because Reggie did it or whatever. So my dad was always a huge Chicago Cubs fan, huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So I always just rode with him, man. I mean, whatever Pops was doing, that's what I was doing. Right. I mean, I'm the first and only boy in the family. Like, I'm the oldest. So, we just had that connection and everything. And so, I grew up in a big sports family. I mean, that's what we did. That's what we watched. That's still what we do. My mom, she, luckily for us, like when her and my dad got together and when they had me, she kind of started falling in love and with sports and following it just like my dad and I did. So she's all into it and everything. And so those are my first ones of just like watching sports, right? And then I remember playing baseball and growing up a Catholic kid on the south side of Indy. We did CYO, right? So it was CYO football, CYO basketball, playing against the other, whatever saint or holy, whatever they were, you know what I mean? And so really, yeah, I mean, baseball was the first one that I played from a very, very young age. So that was like the first one that I remember playing. But yeah, man, honestly, the first sports memory, like I said, has got to be Reggie against those Knicks, dude. I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, and I was just like, "This is
good old Reggie, Spike Lee,
crazy,
big time."
Those were the good old days.
So growing up playing sports, I guess what was your favorite sport when you were playing as a adolescent?
I think it started off as baseball. I think probably just because I found selfishly, I guess, I found the most success with that one at the earliest age. I didn't start playing football until later, like middle schoolish. But I always loved football. Like I loved NFL Sundays and the pregame shows and the fantasy football, even when I was 7, 8 years old. But I just played baseball the most.
Yeah.
But then it took a hard shift when I got to be about 13, 14, 15. I was like, baseball's been cool, but football is really a lot of fun. And I just felt, I mean, you guys obviously know, I just fell in love with, the atmosphere of it and the environment of it and the camaraderie of it. And it was just booming, right? I mean, football in America, it was just college football, NFL, it just totally ruled. And it's like, you're going into high school. It's like, yeah, baseball players are cool and it's cool, but like, you want to be wearing the helmet and the jersey and having the girl wear the jersey on Friday nights, right?
Friday night
lights. I used to love it.
Friday night lights,
come on. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's like, you want to have the girl rocking your practice jersey, all that.
Yeah.
So football became, became my main love after that.
Love it. Now it's funny you mentioned the jerseys, man. I'm thinking back in high school because at Warren Central High School I went to, like every Friday, all the starters, would walk around the high school the whole day with a jersey on. And at Warren we had something called the blood belt. So the starters on defense will wear like a red belt that kind of just resembles our mentality for that game. But we'd also always get an extra jersey, and you would just pick a girl that day you wanted to wear your jersey, and it was the cool thing to do. So it's funny you mentioned that, man.
And just like that once a week thing, right? Where it was like, every other sport seemingly, it was like they're playing on like a random Tuesday or whatever. It was like everybody knew whether you were in the band, whether you were an like emo kid who didn't care, whoever you were, you knew Friday night it's going down under the lights. And yeah, dude, it was cool.
He gave me hype right now, Bolo. I'm starting to feel like
look. It's funny you say that, Joy, because football just started this week. High school football. So I'm coaching at Lawrence Central right now, and we gearing up, and everybody's so excited. And I'm like, just to put that equipment on again and live for those Friday nights, man. It's like nothing else. Like even us, I mean, obviously we played in front of so many people in college and stuff, but like sometimes that high school environment hit a little different though.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, that's where you're like, I think 4 or 5 of the 7 groomsmen that I had in my wedding, I played high school football with. Wow. I mean, it's just like, it's just what it goes down to. It's a very tight knit, kind of relationship that lasts for a long time. LC though, bro, my brother-in-law was the quarterback in 2013 when LC won the state championship. Drake Christie. Yeah, wow, he's kind of a legend around those parts.
Yeah, absolutely.
He went on and played football at Wabash, but yeah, so I got another kind of funny connection there with
yeah. I love that.
We might just be family, Joey. I don't know. I might have to check my lineage.
That's Indy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, what position did you play in football? I'm curious to know.
I would consider myself like a offensive weapon, like an OW. you know?
Okay. Yep.
Doing a little bit of everything, right? Line up slot, lining up outside.
Utility.
Yeah, get the, have a few kind of designated, I don't know what you want to call them, but designated ways to get the ball in the hands and everything. And,
Right.
we were just 4A now, right? I know Warren is 6A or super whatever A that's on their own level. For the people who aren't familiar with high school football in Indiana, Warren Central is just, gods amongst boys here. But so
you said it, not me.
Yeah. In high school when I'm running, a 4.8, 4.9 with a handheld watch, I can get away with, getting me the ball and making a little something happen. But right. Man. So we were, it was Roncalli was when I played there. That's where I went. It was Roncalli.
Oh, nice. They just won a state championship too, not too long ago.
Yeah. So they went through a really good. We kind of not right before us, but a handful of years before us was like a real dominant time, and then close to a decade later. Well, probably 7 or 8 years later, they like really hit a stride too. But big, a big football school in its own right, Catholic, Catholic football, right? And so we weren't slinging the rock around too much, wasn't too run and gun spreading out, but I got the ball in my hands every now and then.
Yeah, I like it. He's one of those guys where like no matter what, we got to give him the ball. So whatever we got to put him out on the field, Joey has to get the ball.
It was just, it was just like a nice little, I don't know a comparison I can think of, because I definitely wasn't like
Debo Samuel.
Like you got to get him the ball. It was just like, okay, Mulinaro is like a nice piece to be able to, like I said,
right.
I could be slot, I could be outside.
Gotcha.
The ball on like a little belly option type of thing, like just utility.
Nah, for sure, man. Nah, I love it. So at what point did you start to really fall in love with the sports media side? That's something that came later, or like I guess how quick did you know that you wanted to go that route?
Man, yeah, I think like really, it was like my junior year in high school probably, and because you're starting to look at what colleges you want to go to, and then when you're at that college, what do you want to study? What do you want to do? Right. So I'm trying to get these grasps of thinking that way. And, I always enjoyed kind of public speaking and being in front of people and whatnot. And I always listen to, y'all will know probably like Bob and Tom in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Indie Legends again. But, so I listened to that with my dad growing up on the way to school, but then also Mike and Mike. So it was like, if you weren't listening to Bob and Tom, you were listening to Mike and Mike and vice versa. And so at the time when I was a junior in high school, I was like, yeah, I like to like joke around and be funny, but I don't know how to like be a comedian on the air like Bob and Tom. So I was like, I do know how to talk about sports though. So let's go kind of the Mike and Mike route. Like that would be awesome. And then, so of course, I started, it was like, oh, well, Ball State. Yeah. Like David Letterman for sure. Right. His building, his school.
Okay.
Right. And so that's the first instance where I was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of like I could be on the radio and talk about sports, and maybe like be on TV and talk about sports, and maybe like be a play-by-play broadcaster. So yeah, I'd say like my junior year of high school was really where I started thinking about sports media.
Nice. So ultimately your decision to go to Ball State was for the media major that they had at Ball State.
Right. Oh yeah.
Nice.
I just was like, that's got to be the only spot, right? I mean, David Letterman building.
I'm sold, right? Now explain it. So what made you ultimately transfer after that first year to University of Indianapolis?
Yeah, man. It was, so my first semester in college was rough. It was a weird transition. It was a tough transition for me. Because I grew up going to smaller Catholic school, smaller Catholic high school. I've been in school with the same people since I was 7 years old, right? I've had the same group of friends that have constantly been there with a few people give and take. since I was 8, 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, I go to this place that's got 15, 17,000, 20,000 kids.
Right.
And, all these, there's parties and there's drugs and there's girls and there's school. And there's like, well, this is like real life. I got to figure out what I want to do. Like, it was just a lot. It was just a big transition. And like, I didn't handle it well. It was tough for me. I was homesick. And I know, even though it was only like an hour away, but it was like, I never lived away from my mom like that. It was like, it was tough. So first semester was really hard, but then the second semester, I actually I came, I made a solid group of buddies and like felt more at home, and it was like, okay, I can do this. This would be good. But then just like, I was home one week, I think it was like Easter weekend or something, our freshman year of college. And I just had this moment where I was like, you know what? I was looking at my mom. I was like, I really don't think I want to go back there next year. Like, I want to stay in school, but like, I think I just want to come back home. And she was like, okay, yeah, let's, and so we started looking into it, and University of Indianapolis ended up, I didn't know. I guess it was on me for being ignorant enough to not like look elsewhere, just have my eyes solely set on Ball State. Right. Because UIndy ended up having like a really good radio program and like a TV program too, but like the radio program was very well established and there's a lot of good opportunities there. And so I was like, oh, cool. Well, this works out great. So University of Indianapolis it was. And yeah, I mean, I went there, and it was just, how in sports, sometimes guys they always say like, they need to change the scenery, right? Like change the scenery. Change the scenery is what I needed, and UIndy was my home, and I stayed there and graduated, and it worked out great.
Yeah, I love it, man. I just love how, we always hear stories on the porch, right, where you hit some type of adversity, and, once you switch gears, you kind of just find that stride, and then like from there, like you take off, right? So, we learned about, you grinding through just sports director roles, local radio stations with, WICR. I guess talk to us a little bit about like that experience for you, and then obviously how that prepared you for that next phase of, your career.
Yeah, man. So it was really cool because, and I think they probably did this at Ball State, a lot of different other places, but like at UIndy, they had student management positions to where, for the radio department that probably had like 50, 60 kids, there would be like 6 spots of students who would lead certain departments. And for that, you would get paid. And, just look good on the resume, right? You're trying to do all that. So I did do that. I was a sports director one year, and then I was the operations manager of the whole thing my senior year, which, wow, looking back, it's like, well, I guess it makes sense for why you're doing it senior year. You're trying to get as much, experience, good stuff on there as you can, but also it's like your senior year, you want to have some fun and whatnot. But WICR actually is a classical and a jazz station. So it's right. It's funny. It's like this little kind of double-edged sword, because it's like, it's an FM station in Indianapolis that reaches a ton of people and has a great listenership. But they're all like 70 years old plus, and it's all classical and jazz music. Right. And so like, you got 20-year-old kids like I was when I transferred that got to hop on these FM airwaves right away. But I'm talking about just things that I have absolutely no clue what it is, right? I mean, just such a foreign land. But again, it was like a fun challenge to, all right, I'm going to try to immerse. I don't think I'm ever going to be a really big jazz or classical music fan, at least not in the next 50 years of my life.
Right.
So it was a nice challenge to like, make sure that you immerse yourself enough to sound good, to sound like you know what you're talking about, to come off presentable. So it was like, it was interesting, but you had that to where it was the classical and the jazz during the day or during the week that you're doing it, but then also you got to broadcast University of Indianapolis athletics on the FM dial as well. So that was super cool and very valuable, where I was like, cool, I'll put in my time talking about Leonard Hamilton, or I can't remember who it was. Like there's some of these jazz artists that they should be ingrained in my head by now. But you talk about that, but then like, hey, on Saturday night, I'm calling a college football game on an FM dial that's reaching 80,000 people or whatever. Like those trade-offs that I was like, okay, this is, I get it. In college and when you're younger, sometimes, mom and dad, they're always like, hey, sometimes you got to eat a plate of dirt to get up to the China table. You know what I mean? And like, all right, that's fair. I can do that. So yeah, man, it was just a really interesting and valuable experience. And I'll always be indebted to you, Indy, man. They threw you right in, and it really made me better, I think.
No, 100%. And I think it's also like the fact that you had to talk about something that was such a foreign topic to you and you were still able to execute. Right now, it's like when you do talk about something that you actually love, it makes it almost easy. It's like, okay, if I can talk about classical music all day, football is going to be cake. You know what I'm saying? So
sure. Yeah, no, exactly. And in a lot of different ways too, I think it opened up my mind to where I was like, all right, there's other things out. Like everybody wants to talk about football. Everybody wants to talk about basketball. Everybody wants to talk about pop culture, right? Mm-hmm. But there's got to be people who want to talk about volleyball. There's got to be people who want to talk about soccer or now racing.
Right.
Motorsports is a huge, huge part of my life now. Whereas when I was in college, I knew about the Indy 500 and that's about it. But I think kind of now that we're talking about it, I'm like, hey, I think, my mind started to get trained to be like, hey, grasp onto something and learn as much as you can about it. And who knows, maybe you'll fall in love with it, So It's really interesting how it plays out like that.
Nah, 100%, man, 100%. Now, what I want to know is, obviously, we know you're famous for your crazy, for hilarious impersonations. At what point did you, I guess, come to the mindset of like, you know what, I want to start doing this? Like, because obviously you're grinding in college, you're on the radio station, trying to figure stuff out. At what made you pivot and start doing your impersonations?
Yeah, it was, to your point, I think it was just I'd been grinding and I'd been trying to do stuff and stand out for so long that eventually I was like, well, maybe I should just try this, because I always, I say when people ask me, I've always been like the living room impersonator, right? Like in front of my family, in front of my friends back in the day. In front
we all try it, but
exactly.
We're all not as good as you.
Yeah, but it always like seemed to work out, right? Like I always got big laughs from those people, and I was like, that was kind of stuck in the back of my head, and yeah, I got to a point where I was just like, look, I've been doing what I can. I'm trying to take every opportunity I can at the radio station. Just do anything, right? And because as you guys know, it's like when you're coming out of college or when you're going into the workforce or whatever, it's a lot of it is about who you know, right? But a lot of it is about how you stand out from the same 1,000 kids that are graduating with a communications degree that have also been on student management courses or whatever. And so that's where I was like, well, why don't I just try it? Right? It can't hurt to have like a feather in the cap, right? Like another feather in the cap, and so I started doing Andrew Luck was one of the first ones that I did like publicly.
Gotcha.
And I was in like the spring of 2019. Yeah. It was spring of 2019, because then a few months later he decided to retire.
Right?
Oh man,
put a dagger in a whole lot of things. But that was the first one I did like publicly, and I could see it started to work a little bit. Like all of a sudden, I was getting asked to come on like some of the bigger radio shows at our station to, not prank call, but call in as Andrew Luck. And like different people around the indie media market, instead of just like I was just this random nobody. I was just the random nobody who it could do Andrew Luck. And so it started to like, I was like, oh, okay, people are starting to like see now. And so from then on, man, it just like, he retired. So I was like, well, I can't keep doing him. And then it just kind of evolved into trying different people and put them out there. And it's worked
That's
out.
crazy, man.
So we gotta ask you. You gotta let the Porch family know. Who's your favorite person to do? Like, or who do you think you do the best? I've seen the SEC one when they were going to the beach. That one's probably my favorite one. But who do you think you do the best?
Man, honestly, Andrew Luck. I mean, it really sucks that I can't really do him anymore. I mean, it's
dang, Andrew, why'd you retire?
Man,
I'm not a Colts fan, as I said. I was kind of born and raised a Steelers fan, but all my buddies their hearts were broken because their beloved Colts,
yes.
right, Darnell? Yeah, the beloved Colts lost their guy, and I'm heartbroken because I'm like, there goes a lot of content for me. Thanks, dude. So he actually retired on my bachelor party. We were in we were in Chicago for my bachelor party and getting ready to go out, and we get the news that he retired, and so
cancel the whole thing.
I just kind of really went to hell. But
he also played the Bears that preseason game too. Because I was there at the game because I'm a Bears fan. So my parents and we went to the game, and he was actually there, and like everybody started looking at their phones and like looking at each other, and they got super quiet and awkward in the whole stadium. And like before you know it, like the world knew, and I was like, holy shit.
And then everybody booed him, and then that was a big thing.
Yeah, ugly.
But yeah, dude, so to your question, I mean, I honestly, I think the best one I do is Luck, and I can't really do it that much. But I mean, really, there's something fun about each one of them, and I enjoy doing them all. I always try to tell people, like, again, that when I started doing them, and even now, it's just meant to be another feather in the cap, a foot in the door.
Right.
A way to get people to notice you. So then it's like, oh, all this other stuff that you do, that's awesome. You know what I mean? So I really do enjoy doing all of them. And I think that there's something different about each one. I say that a lot too, is like, with like a Luck, like the goofiness of it. Right. And like his like lack of knowledge of like basic pop culture things. Colin Cowherd, right? Like just like coming up with the most ridiculous analogy of that you can possibly imagine.
Yes.
The Collinsworth slide, the Saban just getting pissed at everything, the Jimmy Fallon laughing at everything. Like there's something about each one of them that I really try to like nail, like hone down to like make it specific to that impersonation. But yeah, and like, it's cliche, and I take it from the GOAT in my mind, Tom Brady. Like somebody said, "What's your favorite ring, Tom?" And he said, "The next one." So for me, it's like
it.
My favorite impersonation is the next one that I find that I'm like, oh, I can do that one. That's a new one. I can do it. It's coming to me, and it's gonna do well, right? So, man, it's all just fun and silly.
Man, I love it, man. I love it. And so, we are all former athletes, and when it comes to sports, you watch film to prepare, right? You watch film, you practice. What's your process like to prepare for these impersonations? Like, is it just, do you just pick the ones that for a fact? Okay, my voice, my mannerism are just similar to this person. I know I can do that. Or is it more so like, okay, let me go to the bathroom, look in the mirror for like, an hour and like practice a little bit. Like, what's that process like for you?
It varies, man. It's so for instance, like with Luck, with Coach O, with Kuiper, for whatever reason, I just like they kind of, I could watch them, and then I could I could kind of pull it off. You know what I mean? It just like I could find it right away, and it just worked. But there's been plenty that I kind of will record. I'll get the scenario in my head, right? So I'll do like Bill Burr ordering from Starbucks, and then I'll go and like you said, like watch film essentially, where I'll hit record. I'll put myself in that situation, try to get in that headspace or whatever, say whatever I think I should say as best I can that way.
Right.
And then kind of watch it back and be like, okay, it's close. Maybe get, maybe drop it down a notch, maybe bring it up a higher pitch, that kind of deal. So
Right.
yeah, it is. There's some that just naturally, it just, whatever reason, it just works. But then there's some like with Cowherd where it's like, I listened to him forever.
Right.
For literally, I mean, I've been a fan of his for so long and listened to him for so long that over time, it just kind of like has weaved into my brain subconsciously.
Right.
And it happens that way. But yeah, they all vary, man. It's I wouldn't say like somebody like Caliendo, he's a freak. He just like anybody in the world, he can just hear him and I feel like just do it. I'm not like that. I'm not I'm not as talented or as blessed there. So I definitely do have to put some work into some, and there's some that I'll try to give a rip at, and I just can't find it. It's just not there, and I'm like, all right, well, on to the next.
Yeah, man. No, it's truly it's a pure talent, man. I've definitely tried it myself, Bolo, just being at home. They said we all do it, we just try to do it, but you feel miserable. I feel like the only person that I kind of executed before, like a couple years ago, I did like a fun Mike Tyson impersonation. It still even took me a while to get that 100% down pat.
Put yourself on the spot, bro. Now I got to hear Mike.
It was
Tyson.
a couple years ago. I don't know if I got it, or I haven't heard him talk in a minute.
I could see you pulling that off though, Darnell. I can hear a little Tyson in there. That's all right. You need to look up. I don't know if you've seen. I don't know how you haven't, maybe, but it is like Mike Tyson's like top 10 moments. And it's not in boxing. It's like his top 10 sound bites.
Yes.
They're absolutely hilarious.
He said, I broke my back. My back is broken.
Yeah, dude. See, I knew it. I knew it was in there. That's
my back is broken.
That's what he said. He said, I broke my back.
He's talking about eating children and fornicating with people. I'm like, what's going on, man?
He said, I eat your kids. I eat your. Yeah, Mike Tyson. Hey, shout out to Mike. I don't want to see Mike in the alley. I'll say that. I don't want to see Mike anywhere unless he's on the screen.
Absolutely.
Yes, man. Yeah. And I'm glad I do want to reverse a little bit because you mentioned, the legend Colin Cowherd himself. And I saw you recently, I think like a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, was out in LA and actually got to meet Colin. How was that experience? Like meeting someone who you've been a fan of and looked up to your whole life?
Man, it was great. It was not like planned, really. At least I don't think it was. We were out there. We had a day to kill before one of my gigs that I was doing, and one of my somebody I've been interacting with on social media, Wesley Kaminsky.
Oh yeah, shout out to Wes.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
he works for Fox Sports and works closely on Colin's show. And I was like, no, who did I don't know. I hit up one of those guys and he was like, yeah, Wes was like, yeah, absolutely. Like come down. I'll take you around the tour of the place and the studios. I was like, oh, this will be sick. And he was like, yeah, I can't make any guarantees, but maybe we'll run into Colin. Like it should be right around the end of his show. I was like, oh yeah, man. No, I mean, no expectations, whatever. And so then, we get there a little bit before his show ended, and we were just walking. He led us into this like lobby area, and then all of a sudden, just out popped Colin. And I just go, holy shit, Colin Cowherd. And he walked right up and knew who I was, what was going on, and I was like, hey man, I just want to apologize for. I hope it's all in good fun, all the impressions and everything, and it's such a Colin way. He was just like, I won't do the impression right now, but he was just like, oh, they make fun of Stephen A. Smith on Saturday Night Live. It's an honor, and I was like, okay, I'm glad you look at it that way. So we talked for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I'd say. I mean, he was great, dude. He was like so interested and like curious about like me and like my wife and like what we're doing and where we're from and everything. And it was so funny because like he was so what you think and what you see on TV. Like how he gets into like his rambles and his thoughts about whatever.
That's really Colin, and I tell everybody this, Joey, that's him in real life about any topic.
100%. He was right into it on cue. And so it was awesome, man. It was so I had to obviously rip a little selfie video and get a photo with him. But Yeah, he was great, man. I really liked Colin, and yeah, I was trying to get on his show as him, and then do a little back and forth. But I think we missed out on the timing wise. But maybe one day.
It's not over. Yeah, I would love that. That would be hilarious, man. And Colin's a good guy. I literally just saw him like last week when I was in studio. He was a quick commercial break, and he was talking to TJ Hushmanzada about how many times he like washes his hair. And I just so happened to be walking backstage. He's like, "Hey, how many times do you wash your hair?" I'm like, "I don't know, a couple times." He's like, "See, that's my thing. My hair is so greasy. I have to wash it every day. I don't get it. I wish my hair was like yours." And we had a full conversation about hair during this commercial break.
And I'm sure, yeah, he got into a big analogy and a big, reasoning why which shampoo is better and everything. And it's Colin. Yeah, absolutely. That's hilarious.
Shout out to him. I love it.
So we'll go ahead and transition to our next topic. We got some fun questions for you here, Joey, as we transition. So I'll go ahead and kick it off here. So obviously everybody know you for the funny videos you put up, your impersonations. But outside of work, I guess, what does Joey like to do for fun?
Ooh.
Yeah, dude. So luckily, a lot of my best friends who I grew up with, they all still live in Indy as well.
Nice.
So I'd say just like any fairly regular mid 20s guy, late 20s guy, I like to get together with the boys, play some euchre, have some brews, have some drinks. But then honestly, man, I'm a big collector. Like I collect
Yu-Gi-Oh cards or what? What you collect?
Not Yu-Gi-Oh, man. So I'm a massive Star Wars fan.
Oh, nice.
Huge Star Wars nerd. So I love to collect, Star Wars figures, Star Wars art, any of that. I'm also a huge IndyCar fan, an Indy 500 fan. So like to collect that stuff. So what does that mean? That means me and my wife go to a lot of flea markets, antique stores, antique malls. That's a really fun hobby to do, just to go grab an iced coffee, go find an antique store that's just like this massive warehouse, and go kind of hunting for what you can find. So that's a big hobby for me that I like to do. I don't think I've ever kind of said that publicly, really. That's
cool.
We on the porch, y'all.
I'm on the porch.
Breaking news.
Absolutely. Those two things, and then also I'm a huge true crime buff. I feel like that's not saying a lot now because I feel like everybody's like that. But I mean, I watch Dateline all the time. I mean, I've been Dateline on NBC or on Peacock.
Yeah.
With Keith Morrison. Keith Morrison absolutely rips. Love that guy. Those shows they just get me hook, line, and sinker every time. So, yeah, dude, that's like those are my hobbies. I love it. Outside of work and making videos and stuff, I'm either hunting for some good finds, Star Wars and IndyCar, or I'm watching murder.
right. Now, I love crime myself. Now, real quick question: did you ever tap into the Dr. Death podcast and stuff like that? Are you familiar with that?
I heard that. Not the podcast, but I did watch the first season, I think, of Dr. Death on Peacock. Yeah. I know there's 2 or 3 maybe, but yeah, that's something I gotta finish.
Yeah, the original Dr. Death was crazy. This doctor's out here doing all types of crazy surgeries, and like he was messing people up. Like it was.
And I'm already a hypochondriac. I don't like going to the doctor, so I probably shouldn't watch it because that'll make me want to go to the doctor even less.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So obviously, again, Indy native, so I got to keep going back to this, man. I feel like I'm living in LA now, right? But I'm always representing Indianapolis all the time, and people joke at me for constantly talking about, okay, Indianapolis this, Indianapolis that. Can you explain to our fans, to our listeners, what makes Indy such a great city? Because I feel like there's this huge misconception about Indianapolis is so boring. There's nothing to do there. Why go there? Like, can you please break it down? Why it's such a great city?
Indy is a great city because it is the perfect mix of a big city and a small town.
There you go.
It's really as simple as that in one sentence. You have whatever people want to say on TikTok or whatever. It's not true. You have a nightlife. There's plenty of things to do. Go up and down Mass Ave, nightlife for nights. there. South Meridian, plenty of nightlife. Fountain Square, more nightlife. Broad Ripple, that's all Broad Ripple is nightlife. So I don't want to hear about Indy doesn't have any nightlife because that's just straight false.
Yep.
Then, and kind of in the same sense of what I was saying, you can get from Mass Ave to South Meridian to Tin Roof over there by Gamebridge. All those places on foot if you want to just stay in the direct downtown area. And then, oh, by the way, if you want to do all those and go to Fountain Square, it's like a 8-minute Uber ride. And you're to a whole new thing, right? With hosting events, right? We host sporting events. We host all sorts of conferences, events everywhere. You're walking everywhere. You don't have to get expensive Ubers. Even if it's cold out, you make it to where we can walk on the crosswalks from the conference center to hotels, to malls, to restaurants and bars. Yeah, man. But if I really had to just sum it up, that's what it is. It's a big city feel with tons of stuff to do. Minor league baseball games, Pacer games, Colts, Big Ten championship comes to town every year. Big Ten tournaments.
Combine.
Yeah, combines there. You got steakhouses for days. So you get that perfect mix of what you get in a big type city, but you can just make it all happen within 15 minutes of each other. It's great.
I'm so happy right now.
I love it. So I'm originally from Chicago, and I moved to Ball State. I moved to Indy after Ball State because my wife is from here, and I definitely developed an appreciation for the city because just like you said, it has that happy medium, right? It's not as fast paced, but it can give you a vibe like that if you wanted to. And then you obviously have like great restaurants, great bars, great places. And then obviously it's not like overly crowded, like in certain aspects where you're like overwhelmed, right? It's just like the happy medium. So I appreciate that a lot. Now you mentioned steak shops. Steakhouses. So I gotta ask you, all right, St. Elmo's or Harry and Izzy's?
Ooh, talk to me.
St. Elmo's.
Easy.
I was just there last night.
You answered. Hold on, Joe. You answered that a little too fast. You didn't put enough thought into that. Don't sleep on Harry and Izzy's.
Very confident in his approach of like, yeah.
Listen, I'm not sleeping on Harry and Izzy's. And I stand by my statement about St. Elmo's, but my favorite place is Prime 47.
Ooh. A lot of people like Prime 47.
Yeah.
47 and St. Elmo, and okay, they really are. They're all great. And if people are like, hey, we're going to Harry and Izzy's, I'm there. Going to Prime 47, I probably made the reservation. St. Elmo's, right? All of them.
Right.
But I think, sorry, my big old don't
good.
I think what's cool about each one of them is they each offer a little bit something different, right? Yeah. They're all three steakhouses, right? And you're all going to get fantastic food there. But Harry and Izzy's, I feel like, is a little bit more
like casual.
Yeah, a little bit more laid back, kind of a like sports bar-ish feel, but it's not. St. Elmo's is the classic, right? The world famous, the shrimp cocktail, the whole thing. And so you get that cool vibe there.
Yeah. And
then Prime is just like class, man. It's just like, I don't know. There's something about it. It's like, I don't know if I'm just,
Pinky out.
Pinky's out. I don't know if it's just because I'm used to when the NFL Combine's in town the last handful of years, and Prime 47 is just absolutely the spot to be.
Jumping.
But growing up, it was always like St. Elmo's.
Right.
Like, if you're going to St. Elmo's, like your dad just hit the lottery or something. Like, at least
you were the dude. Like,
it's still a big deal when I go. But in my adult life, Prime is really kind of has been rising. Yeah. But to answer the question, Elmo's over Harry and Izzy.
I like Harry and Izzy because I'm more of a like casual. Like I'm a sports bar guy, so I'm glad you made that comparison because Harry and Izzy is that good little balance to where like, okay, we're getting great food, but I don't have to put on a tuxedo to eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can come in, give me a steak with French fries. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be like, it's not crazy elegant, but it's nice enough to where it's like, man, it gets the job done.
Get you a nice quality meal.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why.
Although I did have, since I was at Elmo's last night, I did have their onion rings for the first time.
Ooh.
They were You got to get them next time you go, man. They were doing onion rings right. Like, you know how typically the onion ring is like a huge, I mean, it's a beast to take on one of them. It's like a donut, but an onion ring, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They had them like they were basically like just like circle fries that were onions, and you could, I mean, they were so edible. Oh, they were so
I'm
good.
getting watery right now, Joey.
And
Come on.
next time you come to town, you go to Elmo's, get you a big old plate of onion rings. They're delicious.
I'm about to book my flight real quick, but go ahead and leave. Let me get on Southwest real quick and get this flight going.
Do that and then go to Prime.
I love it. All right. So last question before we transition to our final segment here of the show. Can you tell us what's your favorite Ball State memory? I know I'm putting you on the spot. You was there for 1 year. I know you said you had some tough times, but I know there were some good times for sure. Knowing Ball State, is there like a certain memory? It might be a party. It might be whatever it may be that just stands out, man. At the Village, at Scotty's, like talk to me, man.
No, yeah, dude, I never made my time was like, yeah, I mean, I was 18, 19 years old, so I didn't get to make it down to that area really.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Honestly, dude, I mean, as lame as it's gonna sound, is like once I got. So what was interesting is that a couple of my good buddies who I'm still great friends with, one of them was the best man at my wedding today. They lived in East Hall of
that was the nice hall.
They lived in East, and then a few guys from Bishop Chatard. Darnell, you know about
Shout out the Tribe.
Yeah, the Trojan. They lived directly across the hall from them.
Yeah.
So then it was like second semester and whatnot. Yeah, there was just like 5, 6, 7 of us. That was just kind of like our crew, and we were doing power hours in the dorms, and you know what I mean. We'd do that, and then we called it dorm ranching. We were just throwing in shoes and doing power hours and just hammering beers, and we go walk to whatever party. Who knows, right? It's just like somebody says party, you go walk to it, whatever.
Yeah.
But honestly, those are my favorite times. Maybe my 1 year there was just like on a Wednesday night, no responsibilities, at least for me, because I wasn't an athlete.
I'm so jealous.
Right. Wednesday night, no responsibilities, having a case of beer just because it's like, fuck it, it's a Wednesday night, let's do it.
Right.
Watch the Pacers, and then like some, some frat house or whatever was going to be having something going on a Wednesday night.
Right.
You make your way over there, and then it's like a fantasy life, right? It didn't matter. So
life.
Those were the best times, man. It's just hanging with the boys, doing that, and being 19-year-old kids with not a care in the world,
I love it, man. It's crazy. I'm always jealous because if you were a focused athlete, you still had your fun for sure, but you had, your priorities straight. So you weren't able to like enjoy the full blown, party lifestyle as like a non-athlete. So I couldn't enjoy that until honestly like my last semester of school. I had a knee injury, so I was done with football, but I had 1 semester left, and I was damn near already graduated. I had like 3 classes that was like cake. So that last semester, I was like kind of just living like a regular student. You know what I'm saying? Be able to just do what I want to, stay as late as I want to. Like it was crazy. So it's like, man, I'm a little jealous you were able to experience that the freshman year. You know what I'm saying? So,
but it's probably better for you later on though, because then you're 21, right?
Yeah.
Legally get into play wherever, like go get booze, go to the bars,
brothers.
Right? Yeah, that was when brothers got in there, that was a big. I made it back up there.
I figured you did.
Because I was like, well, shit, dang, I got to get in on this. If all you guys are still there, I got to see what this is all about. So
yeah,
I'll put my way back up there for that, for sure.
I love it, man. Yeah. Shout out to Muncie, man. Ball State. We got 3 Ball State legends right here, man, on the court. This is an epic moment. I love it. So we're going to transition to our final segment, man. We call this our doorbell segment, but it's just our quick hitters. Now with this one, we're doing it a little different. We got a legend here, great at what you do, great at your impersonation. So I am putting you a little bit on the spot, but I have 3 kind of scenarios that we came up with. And we want to see how you can execute. So I'm gonna read out the first one, Bolo, and then you can jump in. So the very first one is Nick Saban ordering food at Chick-Fil-A. How does that go down, Joey?
Yeah, this is on the spot. Holy cow.
It's all right. Take your time. It's the porch. It's the porch.
All right, can I get a 12-piece chicken tender? All right. And now I'll tell you what, if you're going to bring any barbecue sauce on that, I don't want it. I want the Chick-fil-A sauce because that's what I come here for. So if there's ranch in there, send it back. If there's barbecue in there, send it the hell back because I want my Chick-fil-A sauce, and that's all I want now, all right?
Oh, my gosh, man. That is crazy how it's just like the snap of a finger. Is just
I don't know how he does it, man. I'm trying to hold my laugh so I don't mess him up and like make him laugh. But oh my gosh, that was money. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good scenario. I can't imagine him being out there at Chick-fil-A. That's fun.
You know what I mean? Just seeing Nick Saban pull up through the drive-through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
Get my lemonade. All right.
Okay, Joey. All right. Mel Kiper deciding what he should choose for dinner.
Yeah, I think when you look at dinner, there's a few options. You can go with the classic Italian, romantic, very good food, a lot of pasta. Love that. Very good to eat, although it can upset the acid reflux later on. Then you go with the wings. I can't complain about wings ever. Anytime you give me some good wings, barbecue, hot honey, ranch, sriracha, all good things, right? Throw some tater tots on there. Should be a good time. But I think when you look at it, you got to go with the Mexican food overall. You got a few red flags because of gas that could come up later on. It's a concern there. You're in bed. You're a little bit gassy. But at the end of the day, some burritos, some tacos, some nachos. That's going to be the pick.
Oh, my gosh. I love that.
Come on, man. This guy is, man, you're a Hall of Famer in this.
It's always the face, you know? It's always
yeah. He started off just that the face.
Watch it. It's like that bird. He's got his hair right. And he's listening.
He's locked in. And then he just goes crazy after that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So last one, man. So I didn't mention, so this whole, if you guys can notice, there's a little trend here. Everything I'm asking or each scenario we're setting up has something related to food. You know, we love food on the porch, so I have to do that. So we got one more left. Colin Cowherd explaining why cheeseburgers are the number one American food.
So Joy Taylor, it's funny. I saw a study that said that tacos were the number one food in America. I don't know if you saw this. I get people on my mentions, yep. But Colin, what am I to tell you? But Colin, can't you? Folks, it's simple. Don't overthink a cheeseburger. You get everything you want. You get meat. You get protein. You get bread. You get pickles. You get ketchup. You can make it whatever you want. Get the whole starting five in a cheeseburger. You don't get it with nachos. You don't get it with wings. You certainly don't get it with tacos. Cheeseburger isn't the most hurt.
Bro, that is flawed, bro. Honestly, I know you're just like, it comes like you just do it. But from a fan standpoint, this is incredible. Like the fact that you're able to just
off the hip, just natural. Like
if my eyes were closed right there, I would have thought that was honestly Colin. Like I'm dead serious.
Thank you, man. With Colin, his little laugh that he does, like this sarcastic ass laugh. That's like he's just about to obliterate someone.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Because like, not only are you impersonating these people, but it's like the subtle like little things that they do. You pick up on to like make it so like authentic. Like
that's what really makes it funny. Like most things. Yeah.
I think he's stopped doing that because when I listened to him all those years, he would do that all the time, dude. I swear, almost every other day, he would be like, "But Colin," but now that I do the impression, I never hear him do that anymore.
Ah, man.
I think he got a little self-conscious.
If you listen, Colin, bring it back. We love it. Bring it back.
That's so classic Cowherd. Yeah. Besides talking about divorce, you know?
Right. Oh, everything. All right, before we leave though, Joy, can you do the laugh one more time, please, for me?
Collins?
Yes, the Colin laugh.
Oh my gosh, man.
It's spot on, man. Joey, man, hey, we appreciate you for going up to the porch. This has been a great episode. Just learning more about you. I can't believe you were down there, my roommate. Like I know. It's crazy now. Like 10 years ago, literally. He was right across the hall from me. So it's been an honor to have you on. This is your time here, though, to shout out everything you have going on, any like podcasts. I know you have your own podcast and anything you want to shout out. This is kind of your time to let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, this has been great. Ton of fun. Love chatting with you guys. Yeah, I can't. I'm still just like in shock that worked out that way to where like you didn't even realize it, and now I got to drop this on the podcast. That's hilarious.
Crazy.
Absolutely love it. And funny how things tie back together, right? You never know. So that's been great. Yeah. So just follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Just my name at Joey Mulinaro. Mulinaro. My YouTube channel. YouTube's hard as shit to grow, dude. It's like it is a pain. So I'm on YouTube, Joey Mulinaro, same there. So if you could give me a subscribe there for pretty much daily content, new content there. And then I'm part of Dirty Mo Media now with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Me and my buddy Connor Daly, IndyCar driver. We have a podcast called Speed Street. So if you're into motorsports, if you want to, give it a shot, which I say you should, go over there on Speed Street. Be sure to subscribe. And man, it's been awesome to get and talk to you guys. Darnell, so happy for your success, man. And we've come a long way since La Follette, and it's man. Hey, anytime. I mean, I could be on a show that Lil Wayne was on. That's unbelievable, dude. So,
right.
I really appreciate you guys asking me. It's been great.
Absolutely. And Joey, I don't know if you know, but you are the final episode to season 2.
Yes.
Didn't it?
So, we're gonna do a little 2-week, couple week hiatus to kind of reset as we start a new season.
Summer break.
Yeah.
So we ended with a bang.
Come on, man.
Love that, dude. It's an honor. That's great, man. I appreciate you, fellas. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Well, fans, we have Joey on the show. This is the Porch Podcast. Please follow us on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We will be on Apple
Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Yep.
We are on all your airways here. And remember, the best you is
the best you. And we out.
We love y'all. Peace.
Started on the porch, that was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we need. Now we undefeated.
Presented by Bet Online.